Welcome live to the Edward Fowler Show on this lovely Monday afternoon. It is the 11th of January 2020. Just gone 6 o'clock here in the UK, or in my guest location. It's either just gone 1 p.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning, depending where my guest is this evening or this morning or afternoon. I will tell you, because you was mentioning up the air there about how I contacted you via email and then I reached out to you on social media. But I'll tell you this, the way I came across you was, again, by mistake. This year on the Fowler Show, I'm bringing on everybody who follows me on Twitter. And this gentleman, who is my guest today, follows me on Twitter. Don't know why he decided to follow me on Twitter first, no idea. But any verified person, I just follow back. Why not? But I mean, I was going through my following list the other day, and I thought, well, not the other day, but a few months ago, and I came across my gentleman's guest name. I'll introduce him in a moment, and I thought, he's a music artist. Wow, he's verified. You know, he's a big influencer on social media. So I thought, why not bring him on the show? So I reached out to him. I would like to have had it done last year, but oh well, we've done it this year in 2021. We are going off strong, and it's a pleasure, and I hope I do apologize if I pronounce your name incorrectly, your second name incorrectly, but it is, however, Tru Serva. Welcome to my show.
What's happening? Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
It is. It's good to have you on the show, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And how was your New Year?
Just getting started, but I mean, there's always, optimism at the beginning of a new year. You know, you try to, rewrite all your downfalls from the previous year, and so, it's starting off. I guess it's as good as it can. You know. I guess it could be a little better if we were a little more freer to move around, but yeah, spirits up.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, and I hope 2021 improves to be a better year than last year, because I'm sure last year was quite hard for yourself to do anything in the public, you know, to entertain people in the thousands and thousands of people in 2020. But I know you've been quite busy though recently, haven't you? Coming to the end of 2020, early 2021, you've done a few concerts there and here and there.
Yeah, a few things towards in the December and stuff with Christmas season and things like that. There's a lot more celebration things, so I was involved a few different Christmas programs, things like that. And then just getting into this year for a few things so far. Just people are just trying to see what they can do, and so
yeah. And did you get a good reaction when you announced that you're going to do these shows? Did you get a good turnout, and did you get a good reaction?
Yeah, so I mean, there's because of COVID and stuff, there's a limitation on I guess how many people can be in the building with social distancing and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, according to fit inside the guidelines, it's been pretty good.
That's good. That's good to hear, and I do hope that continues over you can have bigger crowds. But I mean, I want to know, you probably get this thousands of times, but I mean, like, what got you interested in music to begin with then?
I guess in the beginning, just I guess growing up, my uncle, so my mom's oldest brother, was a DJ.
Oh, nice.
And so therefore, then my mom, she did some MCing. So back in the 80s, it was different than it is now, where the MC would be along to hype up the DJ. Nowadays, it's like the DJ played the background music for the MC, And so back then, the DJ was the main guy, and so my mom would go along with my uncle and kind of hype him up while he was doing his stuff. So it's a little bit in the blood, but even though I had fun with it, I didn't know, at the time, or even looked at this as something that I would pursue as a career. Only early on, I was more into sports and pursuing, that avenue until, yeah, just got a little older and, um, your knees hurt a little less from singing than they do from playing football.
Yeah, I bet they did. And what position did you play in American football?
Um, Wide receiver was my main position. Then I played some running back. So
Interesting,
yeah,
interesting. And I'm sure when you were playing football, you had some interesting moments on the pitch against other players, I bet.
yeah, good. I thought I played. For the levels I was playing had pretty decent career. I mean, I guess I was kind of at the highest level in high school football, and then played at a Division III level in college. And so it went pretty well.
That's good. And if you could change anything in your career so far, would you change anything at all?
Like in my music career.
Yeah, your whole life.
Well,
Could you gone
well,
further in your football career than you would like to, or even in your music career as well?
yeah. I mean, I guess we're all, I guess, walking out the path that the Lord has for us. But if my own choices in football, I think if I was a little bit taller, that would have helped. Because I'm 5'10". If I was like 6'2", 6'3", that would have made a bigger difference as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And but I guess music career. I mean, I've kind of. I guess use it, or since there's purpose in everything I'm doing. I'm probably made some mistakes along the way trying to figure it out, or miss opportunities or things. But I mean, ultimately, it is what it is. And so you just try to make today better than yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
speaking of your music, for anyone who may never heard of you before today appearing on my channel here in the UK, the best kept secret on YouTube, by the way. You're very welcome for that. The best kept secret. Maybe not for today, maybe, who knows? But you are you specialize in Christian/gospel music. That's what I've read up on you. I hope I'm correct.
yeah.
What got you into them genres?
So, and I still do. I guess it's weird just in the music, because I guess you would say what I do is Christian hip hop,
Yeah.
or like that, but usually I guess when you do Christian music, or it's the only thing that's based off of content. Like any other genre, you can just be, say, a country artist or a rock artist, or whatever. But ultimately, I guess it's just say got me into those genres of music with that reflection is just because say my relationship with the Lord, and wanting to create content that inspires people, that brings hope to people, give them a sense of love, and ultimately, bring transformation to their life for the better.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. I like it. And in your in your career, is there more of gospel music you do nowadays, or more Christian music, or is it quite a variety you still do?
I still do. I mean, a lot of it. It's weird because with those two terms here in America,
Yes.
it's kind of split upon race versus. I mean, it's not like an outward thing, but usually it's, you say, white people do Christian music, black people do gospel
Got
music,
ya.
when technically they're, well, I guess if you break it down, it could be differently, but technically, if you're sharing the love of Christ, it's the same
Hmm.
thing. Now, gospel music from like a genre standpoint, you can tell um, the difference, like the distinct sound. That's what's gospel, and then Christian music would tend to be, say, more what Christian pop would be.
Gotcha.
So like pop music with a Christian content.
Yeah.
So a combination of the two.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And just in case I'm wondering where I got these two genres from, as soon as I typed your name in on Google, it came up with them two genres. So of course I
yeah.
don't trust anything from Google, so I did a bit more digging, and they were kind of the same kind of
Yeah, so
formats.
when you're submitting
Uh-huh.
music, the lead um say
Yeah.
genre is like so I actually just submitted a song that's coming out next month
Good plug.
couple days ago. So the first line you could put is Christian gospel, then they give you an option to then put hip hop
Ah.
as genre line number 2. But if I put hip hop um as genre 1, they don't give me a Christian option under there. They then go to these other forms of hip hop.
Right.
So that's kind of why that is on line 1, or that category of what it would be in,
Yeah. Yeah.
So then some different platforms would then go, okay, you're doing Christian hip hop, and then some, yeah, just basically leave it at Christian gospel category. So if you went like on iTunes or something, yeah, it'd be in Christian gospel category, because there's not really. I mean, kinda is, because enough people put that secondary as hip hop, but it all kind of depends on who's your distributor as well.
Mm.
On what's your options in those
Platforms.
lines. Yeah, on where you're going to be placed at. Yeah.
Right. Well, now I've learned a lot of interesting things about it. Because I've always been curious to know how does Google knows what genres these particular artists, are continuing to
Yeah.
put out, and that makes a lot of sense. So thank you for sharing that with me and people watching
Yeah.
this at their own pleasure. Because I'm sure it makes a lot more sense now to the average viewer of how
Yeah.
songs and genres are put together. But I mean, like
Yeah.
when you first started, then putting out your different genres of music, did you expect
hmm
it to receive the reaction you did, or was you
Uh,
quite surprised?
yeah. I'm not really sure, because I even when I first started doing music, I don't know if I really was like, I'm going into this for a career. Like at first, because I was doing stuff like I went to college, got a business degree because I wanted to have a record label, but my ultimate goal was like, okay, how can I help my super talented friends who can care less about the business side of things, not knowing that I was going to be out on the forefront of a lot of things in my area of doing stuff, say with my label and things like that, and so yeah. But I'm ultimately definitely a believer of using your gifts, developing your gifts, no matter where the level of those gifts are, to work into developing them. I don't think you was given those gifts for them to sit there,
Yeah, yeah, I get you for that. And when I reached out to you on the socials and whatnot, um, how did you? This is just curious to know for me now. How did you came across me on social media? Because we had on a chap on. Oh, kind of what day was it now? It was a few days ago, and his name was Jody. Now he said he found me because again he found me first. He's a songwriter just like you, but he said he found me through a website where you can type in a particular tag like music or songwriter
Okay.
for like a word in someone's tweet, and that's how he came across me. But I'm just curious if you can remember. It's a few years ago, but I mean, if you can remember this, how did you come across my profile, and what enticed you to like follow me and such. I'm just curious because I'm very much appreciated for that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess probably in the beginning, I don't know. I mean, sometimes you're working and say trying to grow or connect with people who do similar things. So like that's in entertainment or content creating or things like that,
Gotcha.
and then things work like that for um,
Yeah.
collaborations, and so sometimes you just follow people. You never know who's going to be interested in a follow back or connecting with you, but you just basically, the following somebody on social media is equivalent of say knocking on the door. And you're like, hey, who's gonna answer?
Yes, well, I answered you, but it was a few years later than I expected, so I apologize for that. But we got there in the end. We got you on the show.
Yeah.
It's good to have you on the show as always, and talk to us, talk to my viewers about then. Has anybody inspired you from the world of music then to help you to get motivated or to get to that next step, to be able to share the stage with this particular inspiration artist you've got inspired by?
I mean, there's lots of artists out there who are good what they do. I mean, I guess, and it's weird, but inspired by, I guess, lots of people who actually don't do music, but are using their gifts and talents to their full potential, and so that's what's inspiring. Okay, this is what I'm gifted at. How do I do that to the best of my abilities, I mean, when it comes to probably my most musical influence was kind of before I even got started in music and never realized until I got into it was later, was probably Master P when I was just in high school, and I wasn't even really, I messed around with music but wasn't pursuing a career. But he was also a person from impoverished area who came up to make something. He definitely was a person who probably wasn't the most gifted at rapping, you can say, but his grind, he worked hard and became successful from it,
Yeah.
And so he came up, I grew up in, I mean, I don't know, I guess who over there understands the geographics of the United States as much, but so he like where he lived wasn't too far from where I grew up,
Gotcha.
So even before he was mainstream, I knew of him even as a local artist, and so as he developed to then become who he is, and so but yeah, just saying that same kind of grind mentality. My mom, I grew up in a single parent home. My mom never made any excuses, just went to work, and so that's where you just learn, if I mean, you try to do partnerships, collaborations, but if nobody want to help, that doesn't stop your efforts,
Yeah.
and so just keep pushing forward,
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't mind me asking, whereabouts are you right now in the US?
So I'm in Minnesota.
We're in Minnesota.
So
good old Minnesota.
Yeah, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Yeah.
Is it?
So I grew up down south in New Orleans area.
Oh, yes.
But since when Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005, I've been pretty much permanently here in the Twin Cities.
In the cold states.
Since then.
In one of the coldest states in the wintertime.
Yes. Probably the coldest state in the world.
But I guess after moving away from New Orleans to a colder state, you're probably used to it now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever gone back to New Orleans since Hurricane Katrina?
Yeah, since Katrina, yeah, I probably go down there at least twice a year, still where my mom and a lot of my family live. So I usually go down there once a year, traveling and through to do some music, a concert or something in the area. And then we usually go once a year as a family. So I'm married, have 3 kids and stuff. So we go down there and visit, so my kids can see grandma, things like
Well, that's
that,
nice.
So.
That's nice.
Mhm.
I'm glad you were still able to have a good family in New Orleans. I know it was quite a tragic event in New Orleans at the time down there,
Yeah.
because there's been a lot of TV shows shown over here about the aftermath of the hurricane,
Yeah.
and how most of the people left and didn't want to
Yeah.
return.
Lots.
Mm.
Yeah. Lots of people left, and they didn't ever even know there's going to be able to I mean, there's still some areas that haven't been rebuilt, like some of the poor areas and stuff. And then it gets kind of hard if you don't do it fast, because there's hurricanes that come through every year. Like even in 2020 there were 3 massive
Wow.
hurricanes that went through New Orleans, and you're like,
Crikey.
what kind of year is this,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so you know so yeah, so it's some hit the area harder than others, but it's I mean, you'll probably wonder why anybody lives there, but I mean, I think they all go back for the food, so.
And the parties. Don't forget about the parties. It's very
So
good. For the parties down there in New Orleans, in good old Louisiana.
yeah.
But I mean, you're in the cold state of Minnesota. So means, do you support the Minnesota Vikings where you are?
I do when they're not playing the Saints.
Okay, I get you. I
So
get you.
I'm still New Orleans Saints through and through. I thought I was even 50-50, and it was like that for a long time, even when the Saints played. But since the Saints would win, I just thought I was still neutral,
Yeah.
But then a couple of years ago, when they had what was called the Minnesota Miracle, where the Vikings beat the Saints on the last play of the game in the playoffs, my heart sank. I didn't cheer. So that I knew where my allegiance really lied, So now I can own it that you got 1A and 1B, and I'm cheering for the Saints when they're not, or when they're playing each other. But I do cheer for the Vikings when they're playing anybody else.
Well, that's good. I've not heard much of the Vikings though this year, for some reason. So.
Yeah, well, they had Dalvin Cook was number 2 in the league in rushing yards. They're running back. Jefferson, who's a rookie on the team, played at LSU, so he's from Louisiana now, playing here in Minnesota, which is cool. And he broke Randy Moss's rookie receiving records and was all pro just as a rookie and stuff. But the Vikings as a team wasn't that good this year, so that's probably why.
Yeah, because I usually hear about, because we tape it, we want 7 hours of commercial-free papa with Scott Hansen. But I mean, usually I hear something about the Vikings, but I've not heard nothing from them this year. It's very unusual because that's the only team I think I've not heard of anything of this year. I've heard about the Tampa Bays, the Jags, the Rams. Of course, my favorite team of them all, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Miami Dolphins. But I've not heard nothing about the Vikings this year. It's a shame for all the Vikings fan out there, because you must be all punched to your stomach. Think, come on, what's happened to this great team?
Well, I mean, if you listen to local news, listen to local radio, then they talk about.
Oh, of course they do. Yeah, they get
so,
you hyped up. They get you hyped up. They just look all biased about the Vikings.
So they kind of had like 2 seasons where they kind of started slow, then they had a good run in the middle of the season, then kind of ended the year in a toss-up. They still had a chance to make the playoffs right up until the end, but it just didn't happen. Chicago Bears ended up getting that last playoff spot, and so.
Yeah.
But I'm cheering on New Orleans Saints, who got the victory yesterday, so we're looking forward to playing Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the next round.
That might be a hard game, because you got the you got the veteran, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to be. It's gonna be a tough game. That.
Yeah, we did beat them twice this year. You know, they always say it's hard to beat somebody 3 times,
True. It
but
could be done.
we'll see. We beat them pretty good the last time, so even if we squeeze out a victory this
Yeah.
time, we'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best of luck on behalf of the Saints. And speaking of the Saints, and have you had the opportunity to meet any of the players? You know, or have any of the players, follow you on social media as of yet?
Yep, no, not at the moment. I mean, yeah, I mean, I follow a few, but I guess I'm not that close where I'm around as much. But I mean, it can happen, you know.
Yeah, well,
So
fingers crossed it happens for you, because I bet it'd be cool to have to get you to meet some of your some of your idols in the modern day football from the Saints.
yeah, and if I was down in Louisiana, probably would be more of a possibility, you
Yeah,
know. Like so for the Vikings, like I know C.J. Ham really well. He's a starting fullback for the Vikings, and so he's met him through another good friend of mine, you know,
nice,
and just some other players like that, you know. Because we're in
of
Minnesota,
course.
it's easier to just running to somebody somewhere versus you know
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just out and about, you know.
Did
So
you watch? I'm just going off topic here, so I apologize. But I'm loving this
you're
football
good.
talk. I don't know. You probably didn't watch this, but I don't know. But did you catch the XFL in 2020 or not?
um a little bit, not too
Fair
much.
enough. Fair enough. What did you think of it
Yeah,
when you saw bits of it?
yeah, it always, I mean, it has some potential. I felt like how they made it this time had potential to
Yes.
succeed versus how the original XFL was when WWF and Vince McMahon
Yes.
was putting it
Well,
out.
it
You
was
know, and I
still Vince
understand
McMahon now,
they
but
wanted to do.
he reinvented it again, didn't he? For the love of football. But
Yeah,
but now we've got Dwayne Johnson. He's bought it now.
yeah,
Come out next year.
yeah,
Will you be checking it out again next year? Hopefully, as he lasts the season.
yeah. I will. I mean, I like a lot of stuff that The Rock
Yeah.
does, and we'll see who he kind of puts around them to make it happen. I mean, he was on. If you ever saw the show Ballers, that was on HBO. He kind of bought a franchise and things like that, which is a little different than him buying a whole league. But yeah, I mean, if they got the resources, they can succeed. The thing is yeah, I mean, right now, ultimately, it's to get to the NFL because
Of
they're
course.
the highest honors. But if you can get some top-notch players, or say even getting some these name players who might not be starters in the
Mm.
NFL, and so because that's what's going to get the attention. Name players who say become stars in college and maybe not quite make it in the NFL, but there's still a name that people want to check out because maybe their style of play or whatnot doesn't fit in the NFL. You can still have an exciting league,
Yeah.
and so, and yeah,
Because I tell you one thing,
so
as you mentioned before about how the original XFL was very different to the new XFL. Now, of course, I was around
yeah,
for the original when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson came onto the pitch in Las Vegas. Again, the best city in the world, Las Vegas, apart from Manchester, of course. But I mean, Las Vegas, they all kicked off for Dwayne Johnson on the XFL in 2001. Who'd have thought 19 years later he would come full circle and buy it out? And the good thing is, he's got unlimited money. Think about how much money he can pump into it. And with The Rock,
yeah,
it will probably won't go bankrupt less than a year or less than a season because
yeah.
he can make sure that it can continue for the future.
Yeah, I think if they can make it through most businesses, if you can get through 3 years, then it'll be around a
Yes.
while, and so they can get through 3 years, and I don't know. I feel like in the football arena, entertainment arena, even though Vince McMahon is entertainment, I think where he's at in entertainment's a little bit different than where Dwayne Johnson is, and you might be able to get some people. You get some named coaches or commentators, or just things like that can bring some excitement to have
Yes.
people wanna watch. But it is also going to depend on when the season is, because I feel like here in America we can watch football year round. So if it's like opposite season of the NFL, it's going to get attention, which I think is what they were doing.
Yeah, it was in spring. Every spring
Yeah.
was meant to be, but again,
Yeah.
like anything, XFL does not want to last. Yeah, it's a shame. I like the XFL. I love saying that the XFL. But I mean, I brought on a football player who actually played for the XFL last year, and a few, because what happened was I brought him onto the show because at the time they were going to come back and finish the season. So I brought him on the show to talk about what he's going to do, prepare, for the comeback. And then on the day of him becoming the show, they announced the bankruptcy. So I thought, oh, great. What am I going to talk to him about now? So we talked about that and about what else he's going to do now. Maybe he will continue playing for the Tampa Vipers, I think it was called. So hopefully that will happen. Do you think you can see yourself maybe doing anything with WWE? In that entertainment business with your music?
I mean, it'll be cool. I got one guy who I mentor. He's good friends with, like, he's very into WWE, that stuff like that. So he's reached out and made contacts and made friends with people. He wrote a theme song for a wrestler who's not quite in the WWE yet because he had got an injury, but he's in I forgot what it was, but like a notch below WWE, where he's basically building himself back up to strength, and we'll see what happens with that. But it'll be cool arena. Like, I'm not, I guess, as much into wrestling as I used to be, but it's cool, you know. And so to be able to do some, perform a song, create a entrance theme song for somebody,
it would be cool. And I can say, I knew that guy. He's been on my show and he talked about it here first. But I mean, what are your, because you mentioned at the beginning of the show that you've got some projects that are coming out in about maybe, did you say later on today or maybe tomorrow or so?
Well, I got a song coming out so I got a project that we created for my nonprofit a couple months ago, but because of how the new digital world is, we're releasing one song. Right now it's been coming out about every 2-3 months. I want to do every 6 weeks, but every 2-3 months they've been coming out. So this will be the third song from that project. And this song is called Just Us. So it's with myself. It's with a guy who's a Cambodian rapper and then a guy who's a Native American rapper.
Nice.
And it's a song to basically... I'm getting a call here. Let me...
Okay, that's interesting. So we lose our guest here on the Edward Fowler Show. Hopefully he will reappear. But this is a good segue. Oh, he's bringing me back. Ignore me. He's calling us back. By the way, you just made history there.
Am I here?
Are you able to...
I ended the wrong call.
Are you able to continue, or do you have to go, or...
No, I was trying to ignore the other call and I accidentally hit the thing. I was like, oh, that's the wrong one.
Well, you were the first person in the show to ever hang up on me before the show is over, though. So there we go. We're going to segue to my upcoming guest coming on Saturday, but we'll do it in a moment. But as you were saying before, where you hanged us up by mistake.
Yeah. Oh, you threw me off there. What was I?
I apologize. I believe you're talking about your projects. You said you're talking about every 6 weeks, but you come every 2 to 3 months.
Yeah. So the project, the song we got coming out, because there's been a lot of uh, just social unrest, or things. It's basically to raise awareness to people who follow us and support us, and then even to other people who might uh, like us as musicians, but to even talk from our point of view so that others have an understanding,
Gotcha.
when dealing with, say, police brutality or dealing with equal rights
Hmm.
or things like that. But how do we come from a more positive perspective or Christ-like perspective so that people can see that we're not saying you need to move out of the way, but just to see us,
Yeah.
And so, but to talk claims, say to talk to others about our experiences with certain things, but also to talk to our own communities on how we can do better as a community.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just for who may be watching this as well, we've been plugging your social medias throughout today's show, but just in case people aren't actually watching this but just listening to this while they're doing something else, where can they find you on social media?
at Tru Serva, so at TruServa. So that's what it is on all platforms, unless you come and check me out on TikTok. Then there's a one after that.
Ooh, I see. Because someone's took your name, I see. But very straightforward, very easy to find you across all the platforms apart from TikTok, of course. You got to put the extra one on the end of TikTok, making it a bit harder to keep that
Yeah, I've been
brain
trying to
engaged.
figure that out, but I think I created it's myself on why I can't get the regular name
Oh,
because I think it was well, musically used to be a platform that TikTok bought, and I think I just created an account that I never did nothing with on
ah.
Musically, and now I can't get the name because everything was grandfathered over, even though I tried to go through this thing to make sure that it didn't work and stuff like that. So then I can claim it later, but it still says that the name is not available. So,
Not a shame.
um, yeah. But if you really wanna, I mean, you can just go and search True Server Normal, and it'll just bring up,
Oh, there you go.
my profile and stuff for some of the TikToks I put out. I'm
There you
still
go.
trying to, get more consistent with being on TikTok. I feel like that's a more of a young people's things, but you can still have impact in people's lives.
True, true, and,
So
and it helps you even get more exposure as well because people, might never came across your profile on YouTube or Twitter or
yeah,
Facebook or Instagram, but on TikTok, these people are going
yeah,
all global sensations because they post some interesting video and they use the right
yeah. I
hashtags and
just
then
I
they get
just saw
famous.
somebody. Yeah, I just saw somebody at the event I did Saturday night, and I was like, "You follow me on Instagram?" And I was like, "No, but I follow you on TikTok." I'm like, "Okay."
That's interesting. I
But
like that.
because I look at TikTok is probably where, I mean, not TikTok, but Instagram is probably where I'm the most consistent
Yeah,
at,
because you went off
or
Twitter,
at
haven't you?
least
You
watching.
you got rid of Twitter. Said nope, no more Twitter this year. You got off it. Are you gonna plan to return to Twitter because we miss your presence, your
Yeah,
presence
I'm
on
trying to. It's still there, but it's just, and I got people like, you need to post on Twitter, but I try to not, say, because there's programs and thing where you can say make one post on a platform and it posts it to everything else, but I try to be authentic on each platform, and sometimes it just takes up just more time to do all of that,
fair.
but because I know pretty much your age demographic, for most part kind of depends on where you're at.
Yeah,
And I mean, I'm on Snapchat a little, but I'm more just talking directly to people on Snapchat. So I don't really post on Snapchat. It's just usually direct messages with people on Snapchat, and then but Instagram, and then Facebook, um, a little bit, probably a little bit more, and then yeah. So I'm trying, but so eventually I'll get to you if you message me anywhere. But if you want to get to me right away,
It's the place to be on social media or
it's
by
the
email. The
guy.
best place to
Yeah.
get a hold of him. And there's more of my guess in just a moment, but you may be interested in this because this my next guest coming on this coming Saturday. He is a songwriter. He is from
Okay.
America, just like you are. His name in a moment, 'cause it's going to come up the wrong screen, I think. So I'm not going to. That's right, it was a good job it's turned off, so that's good. We're going to keep the fans entertained here while we show you a blank screen. But my next guest is, though, I don't know if you ever heard of this person before, but I can now announce it is D Money Johnson. That's right, D Money Johnson coming on my show this coming Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the West Coast, 6 p.m. my time. He'll be live and exclusively on my show. D Money Johnson. Ever heard of him?
I have not.
You have not heard of him. Well,
But I
you
see
know,
why he put Johnson on there. D Money is kind of a common
a common
hip
name.
hop
Yeah,
name,
yeah, yeah.
because anybody who name starts with a D and they want money or they ain't got money, So,
Well, he's got a very good fan base on definitely on
okay,
Instagram. Instagram is coming to place to be nowadays, and Twitter I've
yeah,
noticed
yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why that is.
So it depends on what you're looking at. I think a lot of people are still on Twitter, but I mean, I'm probably on Twitter more for news,
Yeah,
and so things like that. But yeah, I'll check him out for sure,
yeah.
and see,
We had on a hip hop artist on over a week ago now. He was on a week ago on Saturday. He's based in the Bay Area. He's a hip hop artist, but
Okay,
he has said he's running into doing, pop music and Christian music kind of thing. His name is Trey Cinco. You probably not have heard of him, but he's a hip hop artist as well.
okay,
He's got a big following on Instagram. Check him out if you want to or not.
okay,
But
cool, yeah.
when I reached out to you, did you check out my YouTube channel, or did you just believe what I wrote to you on when I reached out to you?
I think I went and looked at it,
Okay.
but I didn't get a chance to look at a lot of
Oh,
stuff,
that's fair.
and
That's fair.
so, but I will check it out for sure. But I think I went to look at it. I think I might have even followed it.
Oh, okay.
But I'll check and make sure that I do for sure.
Cool.
But yeah. So these type of things, I mean, they kind of come in spurts. It's kind of been a little bit since I've done a couple interviews.
Yeah.
So now I'm interviewing with you today, and then I got another radio interview from a station in North Dakota.
Oh, nice.
Later today, in a couple hours.
Busy day for you, then, isn't it? Really busy day for you.
And then, and then I had somebody else hit me up earlier today to see if I can interview on their podcast on Friday. So it's like it kind of goes in streaks. I would like it to just kind of be a little more even keel, but it's kind of like nothing, then boom, 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 nothing. But
Well, I'm glad I'm glad I was able to reach out to you when I did then, because if I reached out to you like yesterday or something, you'd probably say, nope, I can't do it today. I've got all these other things going on. But yeah, I'm glad I reached out to you when I did again, and I'm glad you responded. I want to know as well, what's been some of your favorite moments in your career so far, in your music career, and are you involved with any other projects outside of music?
What's you say favorite part in music?
Favorite moments you've had so
moments
far
in music. I mean, good moments is always just meeting different people around the country, around the world, being able to travel and things like that. One of the coolest things, we held an event here in Minnesota in US Bank Stadium where the Vikings played with 40,000 people at. So that was probably the
insane
coolest, or crazy performance moment. But yeah, it's always just meeting different people, hearing their stories, and or just yeah, running into somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody you went to college with, or
Yeah.
or just crazy stories like that are always cool when you're like nowhere near uh, where you know them from.
Mm.
Another thing I just had is fun. A friend of mine here from the States who went to the same college with me just moved to Estonia. And then there's a guy from Estonia who just moved, who had moved to my neighborhood. So just crazy, just, things like that just kind of happen
Yeah.
recently. That's just like, what the heck?
Indeed, indeed. Like that
you
is
know,
very bizarre. That is.
so, but just not even just, I mean, because stuff like that probably happens, but me knowing the people who it happened with, and so yeah, but yeah, so like I said, music, being able to travel, seeing different places, of the world, and then, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, that's great insight as well. And I want to know this: who would you hook me up with then to come on the show next to following you, following on in your footsteps onto this show then?
what are you looking for? You want musicians? You want other entertainers? I mean, I'm around. I can
Anybody,
hook you
absolutely
up.
anybody. You mentioned football players earlier. You mentioned other music
Oh,
stars. It could be absolutely anybody.
yeah. I mean, I know some comedians. I know other rappers, other just other musicians,
Yeah.
and things like that.
Well, we've
Yeah,
had
I mean,
on.
I can probably shoot you over.
You'd be our third or fourth musician in 2021. I don't know what I've done because all this shit, all my focus on so far is musicians. I don't know why, but obviously I'm having great success with them so far. So I'm bringing on more and more musicians at the moment. So yeah. So
There you go.
anything you want, you're the guy. But I mean, have you got a particular person you got in mind, or not really?
Uh, um, yeah. I mean, not. I mean, I got two artists I work closely with my label, Carol Rignati and then Joel Robertson. They're both artists outside of the. I mean, they're more. Like Joel is. I mean, I guess we're expanding his style, but kind of like an Ed Sheeran style.
Yeah.
And then, Kara's up and coming. Kind of like I'll say Carrie Musgrave style. Type of artists. So they're not hip hop, but talented young people. I mean, they're Kara just turned 21, Joel's 22, so they're pretty young
Around my age.
compared to me. Oh, yeah, closer to your age.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. Around my age. It's not bad that really. Without having young people on the show as well. No, I'm not in a rude way either, because we enjoy having the people who are knowledgeable as well, and it's good to
Yeah,
have the what's the word, the differences, like from you,
yeah,
from
yeah,
and the more
yeah, for sure.
experienced musicians and football players and whatnot. And
There you go.
you better tell your good friends in the Vikings that that they should check out
Oh, yeah.
my two guys I on here last year. David Pindell, who was a quarterback, free agent by the way, so maybe they might want a quarterback. If so,
Oh,
David Pindell's your guy, and my other guy, Mr. D. He likes to be called, play for the Tampa Vipers in the
okay.
XFL.
There you go.
There you
There you go.
go. There you go. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Fowler Show. And before we let you go, please plug your record company. That's the only thing I forgot to let you plug. So plug it right now.
All good, all good. So yeah, the label's Transformation Records. We got lots of music. I have my latest solo project is out there. It's called Intentional. Living life on purpose. And so I got a song on that called Victory, and that's going to help us through these difficult times. A song called Blessing on the Way. Yeah, just things like that. Some of the singles from that project that y'all can check out. And then I'm on social media everywhere at Tru Serva, TruServa. So come holla at me, say what's up, and can chop it up. So thank you guys for having me.
Hey, you're welcome, man. There you go, Tru Serva here on the Fowler Show. And I tell you who is one of the most entertaining person you should get on the show hopefully soon to talk about football is Pat McAfee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, former Colts player.
Yeah.
Good old, because he's on at the same time as this show. It never used to be because he used to be on at 10 o'clock in the morning, but now he's had to go midday till 3 o'clock. So hopefully one day, me and him can do a simulcast.
There you go.
That'd be quite good. Imagine it'd be 3 hours of Pat McAfee and me. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I do hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday and the rest of your week, and I hope that 2021 will be great for you. And as soon as something big happens with you and something exciting happens with you, we'll bring you back on the show. If, of course, you will be honored to come back on the show again.
Yeah, well, if we can get out and about, it'd be cool to come tour out there, So maybe we get a concert going out there or something,
That'd be good. It'd be good to see you in Manchester, UK, the best city outside the US.
There you go. So
much appreciated.
All right, cool.
I'll be sending you some clips in the next 24 hours. From this podcast to prove to you that this was live and that this was an entertaining show. So we'll be showing them on Twitter and Instagram. Even though you won't be seeing it on Twitter, but on Instagram you will, most definitely.
Well, if you tag me on Twitter, I would then go over.
That's fine.
It'll give me a notification.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So at least I'll still go check it out. I just don't sit on Twitter like I would do on Instagram, and if I'm just sitting here scrolling, every now and then I do. It's like, what's happening over in the world of Twitter, and so, but so I try to get over that. But if you tag me, it'll probably have me over there a while, So
I will, most definitely will. Well, make sure you keep an eye out for that notification then tomorrow, and thank you again for coming on the show. There you go. Tru Serva is on the Edward Fowler Show. They're here live, Serva on the Edward Fowler Show tonight, and appreciate you for coming on. And again, if you live in North Dakota, check out his live interview on their radio station later on today, to see what he'll be chatting about on there.
There you go.
All
right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Talk to you later.
See you soon. So that was my guest here today on the Edward Fowler Show. But we can't finish the show there because we need to hype up our next guest coming on this show. Coming on this coming Saturday is, of course, D. Money Johnson on the Edward Fowler Show. He's coming on this coming Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 6 p.m. UK time. I hope you can join us for that episode of the Fowler Show. He's got over 100,000 followers on both Instagram and Twitter put together. On one platform, Instagram, he's got over 70,000 followers on Instagram alone. That's a lot of people. But that's all from the Fowler Show today. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Fowler Show on this Monday, the 11th of January, 2021. If you did, make sure you do follow me on social media. I use both Twitter and Instagram and active on both of them as well. I don't just use Twitter. I use Instagram as well. Again, I'm a bit more active on Instagram than I am on Twitter, but you can follow me on both. You can let me know on Twitter by tweeting me what you thought of today's show, or you can leave a comment in the comment section below of what you thought of today's show as well. Also, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to share it to all your music friends or just general fans of football or even WWE or, even hip-hop or Christian or gospel music as well. So make sure you do spread the word of the Edward Fowler Show to your friends and tell them this is the best kept secret on YouTube, that more people need to subscribe, more people need to view it, more people need to like it, more people need to share it around to help to get even more bigger guests on this show. And if you're new around here, as I hope you are, then please subscribe with more content coming on your way with the notification bell clicked, because you do not want to miss who we've got on the show next, because again, we bring on the best people on this show, the best people in the world. And you can send us your recommendations as well in the comment section below. Who do you want to see on this show? Leave them in the comment section below, or you can tweet me on Twitter _ Edward Fowler _ on your screen right there. But until Saturday, enjoy the rest of your Monday night.